Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Tell me in the chat where you are tuning in from. I see that Teresa is already here. She's asking for help with her skincare questions. It's so lovely to see all of you. My name is Jeannine, and I am so excited to be here today for this masterclass. I'm the head of product education and strategy if I haven't had the delightful experience of meeting you yet. And I am the host for today's session. So with me, as always, I have our friend Sue on. Please, everyone, say hello to Sue. She's going to be serving as our moderator this afternoon. And as always, whether you're watching this live or via replay on YouTube, please feel free to ask skincare questions via the chat and comments. Speaking of, are we really excited? That is the focus of today's session, answering all of the most popular skincare questions I get asked. As you can imagine, I get asked a lot of questions, and we were all brainstorming and thought this would be a really cool session to do. Now, I have to give a couple of caveats. While I am not a believer in recommending skincare solutions based upon age, as you know, it's by the need. I've said this before, someone 50 can have the skin of a 30-year-old and vice versa. But with that said, there are always commonalities, right, about what each age group is curious about. So I thought it would be fun to kind of start the session by sharing the number one question I get asked by each age group. And then, of course, I'll give you the answers. Most certainly, if you have questions as we're going through, drop those in the chat, and we'll try to get to as many of those as possible. And of course, lastly, I have to say this, that keep in mind that all of my answers, these are strictly my opinions. I am in no way a healthcare provider. I am not a dermatologist. So I will go ahead and say that if you have any questions that are relating to a medical skin condition, please always speak to your doctor. Okay, so everybody ready? Sound like fun? So let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with our favorite group, teenagers. Oh my goodness, are we so excited? So the number one question that I get asked from teenagers, and it's the same question through and through and through. I bet you all know what it is as well. How do I get rid of acne and fast, like in all capital letters, right? It doesn't matter what I do. My skin is always angry. It's always breaking out. And now listen, this isn't just limited to teens, but it is very common that they struggle with acne primarily due to those hormonal changes, right, that are happening for the first time in their body. They're going through puberty. And we know that puberty brings a lot of things. It can sometimes be fun, sometimes not. But obviously, that can lead to an increase in oil production in the skin. And of course, that leads to clogged pores and breakouts, which no one wants that, right? Also, if your teen is an athlete, that can obviously add another layer of complication, right? I don't know, tell me in the chat, do any of you miss that time? I know that I don't. I remember being a teenager and, like struggling with breakouts and blemishes, always at the worst time too, right? And trying strong astringent products, targeted creams. Do any of you remember the creams that launched on the market that were designed to help cover any of your imperfections? Like, that's a whole nother story about what those did to my skin. They're great, great products. They didn't work for me, so it ended up being kind of messy. So I wish that I would have had some advice when I was that age of what to actually do, other than just going and using some of those products. So here's my answer. If you were a teenager and you are struggling with breakouts, and yes, this can relate to almost any age group as well, here are my recommendations. I want you to try a few things. Number one, I want you to cleanse daily, and I want you to cleanse twice a day, morning and evening. So what I want you to do is recommend using a gentle cleanser to wash your face. You want to wash your face in the morning, you want to wash your face in the evening, and that's going to remove all of the things from throughout the day, right? So you know that I always recommend every single adult needs to wash their face twice a day to remove impurities, whether that's makeup, SPF, but it's really important when you're going through puberty and you're experiencing those increases in oil production, because that's really going to help remove the excess of oil, dirt, bacteria. A very common misconception is that when my skin is breaking out and it feels like it's very oily, is that I need something strong to actually strip everything away. And I have to tell you that that is a recipe for disaster. And take it from me because I actually tried that. Okay, so the first thing is cleansing twice a day. Number two, we want you to use over-the-counter treatments. So you really want to look for products containing salicylic acid, maybe a benzoyl peroxide, which can really help to unclog those pores, reduce inflammation. So that's something that could really be useful with moisturizing. That's another thing. Now, it may, again, sound a little counterintuitive, right? We want to, number one, make sure that you're using a non-comedogenic moisturizer. You need to keep your skin hydrated, of course, without clogging your pores. We do not want you to stop hydrating if it gets dry. And if you have been there, you know what it is like. There's nothing worse to have oily skin that is actually dry and you're actually having all of the breakouts. And yes, you can actually have oily skin that is dry. So make sure you use your moisturizer. This one would have been really tough for me when I was a teenager. Limit makeup. Like, I'm sorry, what? Have you lost your mind? No, but less is more. I get it. Like I said, I have been there. I used to use mountains of makeup. We will not even talk about the wrong color foundations. My face was one color. There was a line. The neck and the body were a different color. But it's really important to note that as you're using, the more makeup you're using, it's actually not going to hide anything. Sometimes it can actually accentuate a breakout or texture on your skin. Regardless, even if your teenager does not want to heed that advice with using a little bit less, which I understand, then at least they need to make sure that they're removing all of that makeup at the end of the day. I would also say that another, kind of non-skincare related recommendation is change your pillowcase every couple of days. Silk is a really great option. Silk is a protein-based natural fiber, and it's non-irritating. It's free of chemicals. It's resistant to things like dust and mold. So that could be another option as well. Other than that, this is another really hard one. No picking or squeezing, right? I mean, I get it. We've all been there, but it can really worsen the situation. And of course, it can lead to scarring. And sometimes scarring, the only way to achieve, lessening those scars are through professional medical treatments. And of course, lastly, for that teenager that may be struggling with acne, there's always eating that healthy diet with plenty of water, getting your sleep, but let's be realistic, right? It's a teenager. So that's a little bit about what I would recommend for that number one question. We have some really great products. We have a Skin So Soft for acne prone skin collection. That's really great. We have cleansers for the face, for the body. So you have definitely all of those treatments. The other thing I would recommend, if you have, really skin that you want to use that gentle cleanser that I was talking about just a few moments ago, Pharmarex. This is mine. You can see I just pulled this out of the bathroom, but I love this cleanser, the Super Greens. It's super gentle, and it's a really great option that will cleanse your skin, but it will not strip your skin of anything. So I am going to pause for a second and see if we have any questions that are related to our teens or anything like that. So hi, Lisbeth, nice to see you. What Avon products do you recommend for teens to use to avoid pimples? Oh, listen, I would say, Elizabeth, that it's very hard to avoid, in terms of using a product. But what you can do is all of the tips that I just recommended. If they are cleansing their skin twice a day, making sure that they're really taking care of it, making sure that they're changing those pillowcases, really making sure that they're keeping their skin free of the sweat and the oil, especially if you have an athlete, that is a teenager, that kind of adds, like I said, another complication, but make sure that they're cleansing their skin. And then of course we have those solutions if their pores do start to clog and they do start to experience some breakouts. Okay, let's see. What else have we got related to anyone with teens? Let's see, just looking through. Teresa, I hate acne and this acne scars. I'm trying to get rid of them. Any products that you may suggest? That one, Teresa, obviously, I would have to see your skin to give a recommendation. I would definitely tell you to check with your doctor, your dermatologist. It really depends on the level of the scarring, but something that you actually can do, and I'm going to talk about this product later today, is you can actually look at a retinol. So retinol is really great to really help turn over those skin cells and kind of help freshen up and freshen your skin. Now, I will say, Teresa, if you are experiencing any kind of an active breakout, then definitely do not use this product. This is something that you would use when you are completely finished and you don't have anything active. I hope that helps. Okay, let's see. Loving that. Almost 30. Hi, Celine. Nice to see you. I'm almost 30 and I use rice water cleanser for my acne. Great. Yep. Whatever seems to work for you. I typically make sure that I start with things that are more gentle and then you can work up to see what your skin can tolerate. And I'm seeing that your doctor gave you some benzoyl peroxide. Yeah, I totally see that. And yes, Stephanie, we do have a line, Skin So Soft, for acne prone skin. And again, that has some really great products. It has cleansers for your face and body. It has treatment products for your face and body. So really, really great products. Okay, and as always, listen, if the situation is very severe, I would say with your teen, regardless of what your age is, please visit your dermatologist to get those personalized treatment options. Okay, so let's move on to the next age group, which are the 20s. Now, don't we love people in their 20s? I love them. So people in their 20s, they want to remain in their 20s. They always want to look 20. They think they're always going to look 20, right? I mean, they always feel like, you know, surely it's a myth, right? I'm not really going to age. So typically the number one question that I receive is usually a curiosity question. And it's something like, and it's possible my daughter, one of them just asked me this recently, if I wanted to, it's the if, right? If I wanted to, how would I prevent the wrinkles, you know, from happening? And I think that's a really great question, you know, to even be, you know, considering the fact that, you know, prevention is a real thing. My answer is the same as always. And by the way, this applies to every single age group, but especially when you are in your 20s, before you have any types of signs of aging, I bet you can guess SPF, SPF, SPF. That is the number one product if you were looking for prevention to start using. Now, obviously, you should start using SPF, you know, from the time that you're born, basically. But especially when you're in your 20s, you want to make sure you use your SPF broad spectrum, at least SPF 30 or higher. 30 or higher protects from UVA, UVB damage. UVA, UVB damage, by the way, that is the number one cause of premature aging. Like those are facts, science, right? Now, personalizing it to me, I'm going to be honest, I was the worst, right? I think I may have shared this before, but I've used baby oil, iodine, tanning beds. I mean, and then when I was like, oh, I better start protecting my skin, SPF 2. SPF 2. What does SPF 2 even do? And I've shared this before. I have been paying for it. And I'll be honest, like I started paying for it in my, you know, probably by my late 20s. And I started really using a very solid skincare regimen. And I've been dedicated ever since. And I still see the benefits. I'm reaping, you know, what happened from using some of those products. By the way, did you know with sun damage, and not to put like a damper on things, but I always want to kind of keep it real, but the majority of sun damage is actually done before the age of 18. So, you know, I get it. It definitely happens. I don't know many people that, you know, don't have some type of a challenge like that. Everybody thinks they look better with color or some type of a tan. Of course, it can be achieved without the sun, the tanning bed. We have some great sunless tanning drops. But with SPF, I've got to tell you, I want you to use your SPF every single day. Winter, spring, summer, fall, indoors, outdoors. Don't forget those hands, especially when you're driving. And of course, we've got a lot of great products here at Avon, but in particular, I'm really a big fan of our Solaire products. These are just a couple of them. We've got a mineral version, we've got a face and body. But the reason I'm going to recommend this for someone in their 20s is because remember, the question they asked me was, if I wanted to prevent wrinkles, what can I use? What should I be using? And other than SPF, I love the fact that Solaire actually has skincare ingredients. So you have things like niacinamide and panthenol. So you're going to not only be able to prevent, all of the harmful UVA, UVB rays with the sun, but you're also doing some really good things for your skin with that SPF. By the way, I do just have to do a really quick note about SPF over 50, because this is typically a question that I get asked quite a bit. And that is, well, you say SPF 50, at least 30, and you recommend 50. Like, what about SPF 75? What about SPF 100? And here's a fact. When you apply SPF 50 properly, the sunscreen blocks 98% of UVB rays. SPF 100 blocks 99%, 1% of difference. So I have to say that I personally would save my money, and I would use it buying more of my Solaire so that I can have it, on the regular, rather than, spending more money when we know that, proven it's really, SPF 50 is kind of where it tops out. Okay, so other than SPF, we want anyone in their 20s to start with a good, consistent skin routine. It does not have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated, but start now. Simple is okay. Cleanse, moisturize, SPF. Most certainly, if someone is in their 20s and they want to go a little bit further, they can, explore a light vitamin C, a little bit of a retinol. We'll talk about that. And of course, I do have to add in that, I want everyone to drink a lot of water. It's really important, but especially in your 20s when you're pushing the limits sometime, we're studying around the clock, for exams. Maybe we're going out. We're definitely getting a lack of sleep, and that can absolutely take a toll and contribute to things that we don't love, which are things like dull skin, dark circles, puffiness. So water is a really great remedy to help with that. Okay, I'm just looking at some of your comments. And Teresa's asking, do I recommend Rice Water products? Yes, Rice Water Bright. That is a great collection. We really love that one. Okay, let's see. What are some of the other questions coming in? All right. Looks like everybody's pretty good. All right, so if you have any questions, please, again, feel free to drop those in the chat. I do see that Christina has a question. Is cocoa shea butter good for your skin? Absolutely. Shea butter is just phenomenal. Kelly is asking, do we have... I'm assuming you mean skincare and eye makeup products that are hypoallergenic. Absolutely. Everything is clearly labeled when you go to the product page on avon.com, all of the details. So you typically on the product page, you'll see the picture or pictures, you'll see the description. And then when you go down a little bit right under benefits, it will give you all of the highlights. So if something has been dermatologist tested, clinically tested, hypoallergenic, non-comedogenic, that is all listed right there on the product page. Okay, so let's keep on and move and talk about the age group that are the 30s. I have to say, there is something about the 30s. I think personally, and this is just me, I think the 30s were the most challenging because you're not considered youth, but you're also not middle age, at least by today's standards, right? I feel like in your 30s, worry really starts to set in, something that is not uncommon for our friends in their 30s. And I was the exact same way. They'll reach out and be like, JJ, I saw a wrinkle. My skin, it did something it's never done before. Meanwhile, it's probably not visible to anyone else, But it's really important to acknowledge that if it is important to them, then it needs to be important to me and it needs to be important to you. Prevention is obviously massive in our 30s, but the number one question I would say that I receive is, can you help me with this fine line or with this wrinkle? Can you please make it go away? And my answer is, I can't make anything go away. I don't have magic, but I have some magical products. But while the basics of your skincare regimen remains the same in your 20s, I would say if you're in your 30s and you are like experiencing those first kind of signs of aging, little crinkle here and there, you may not even know really what it is, but you know it's doing a little something different. This is the time to start incorporating those anti-aging products. Now, you do not have to go hardcore on the anti-aging, but what you want to do is incorporate products that are specifically designed to help address those fine lines and those wrinkles, right? A couple of things that I really love to start using, definitely in your 30s, is an antioxidant like vitamin C. This is brand new, just launched this week. This is the Beyond Glow vitamin C 6% and ferulic acid. I am loving this product because it's giving you protection from both sides. The vitamin C is being absorbed into your skin. It's really protecting those cells. And the ferulic is like, not today. It's really helping to defend against those external stressors that may happen. So loving the fact that we should incorporate, some type of an antioxidant. We know that oxidative stress, and I know that sounds like a big word, but that actually also can accelerate the signs of aging. So there's some really key products that you definitely want to start using when you're younger and to continue. So just because I'm recommending by an age group doesn't mean I want you to stop using it. I hope that makes sense. So we've got our Beyond Glow, the vitamin 6. Love that one. The other thing I would recommend in your 30s, and again, and this is if you're seeing just something very light, start with a light retinol or a retinoid. Our bodies actually start to lose collagen and elastin in their 20s. How depressing is that? But those are really important factors in the skin actually breaking down. And that is what actually leads to the wrinkles when you start to lose the definition, right? So that starts to happen. So we want to make sure that we're pairing things and kind of moving along the way to kind of offset that or to make it, age gracefully, I guess. So one of the products that I love, obviously, that I love my 1%, but I'm going to put that over here for a second because I'm talking about someone in their 30s that said, hey, I saw like a fine line or a wrinkle. Can you please help me? Something that I love, and again, tell me what you prefer. If you're in your 30s, tell me if you're using any of these products or what some of your results have been. But PharmaRx Bakuchiol, they have a great collection of products. It's a natural plant-based alternative to retinol. They have a serum, a cream, an eye cream. The reason that I love this one and I say to start with this is because you can use this one in the morning and the evening. And unlike most retinols, the morning is okay because this product does not promote photosensitivity. So your skin won't have that sensitivity and you can use that during the day. And of course, I can't talk about, SPF hydration enough. Protect your skin, not just for your vanity, your overall health. Skin cancer, it is a real threat. Obviously, continue to drink water. As we begin to mature, our bodies naturally start to decrease in moisture levels. And of course, there's other lifestyle factors, managing your stress, getting sleep, but that really applies, like I said, to every single age category. Okay. And yes, Teresa, you are there, like you're helping. Drink lots of water. Absolutely. Okay. So let's talk about our 40s. So I am actually a part of this group, at least for the next few months. So it is not, this is an age when it is not uncommon to hear, oh my gosh, I walked by a mirror and I saw my mom. Like, what? Like, or my dad. And listen, it's not that, you don't love your mom and you don't love your dad, right? But we don't always necessarily want to look like them at that age, right? So, because sometimes I think psychologically, when we think about a parent, your mind might actually think about some of those visible signs of aging. So the number one question that I get in the 40s is, how can I reduce visible signs of aging? Okay, so we've been preventing, but it's happening, right? So now I'm actually starting to see things that I've never seen before. Maybe it's a dark spot that popped up, and that does not look like a freckle. Or maybe things, used to be here and they're starting to go here, like things are starting to move downwards just a little bit. So my answer is without doubt, and I've been teasing this the whole time, but it is your retinol, your retinoid. This is the best way to turn over those skin cells with a do-it-all anti-aging product. I have to say that, and you may have heard me say this before, but if I were on a desert island and I could only have 3 skincare products, my skincare products would be in order of vitamin C, the antioxidant, because that's going down into my skin cells and really protecting them, right? Creating that shield. A retinol, because it's that do it all. It's going to really make sure that it's the number one, wrinkle fighting, kind of product. It's going to deliver those dramatic results, reducing the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, dark spots, and SPF. So those would be my 3 without doubt. But again, if you're in your 40s, if you're not already using this, and you can start using this as early as your 20s, definitely should start picking up something in your 30s. And I'm loving seeing some of the comments that some of you love. Lisa loves those Bakuchiol products. They are really great. They give great results. But in your 40s, it is kind of a non-negotiable to me. You should absolutely be using some type of a retinol if your skin can tolerate it. The other thing that I would say in your 40s is, laser targeted anti-aging products. So if you see something and it is bothering you, then absolutely address it, right? So if you feel like, I'm, experiencing some aging, reach for a new product. If you feel like you have visible, dark spots, pigmentation, reach for those vitamin C products, reach for a niacinamide product. We actually have a niacinamide product right here with Beyond Glow. And you know what? Listen, in your 40s, you might start to see things shift a little bit. There is nothing wrong with reaching for some of our platinum products. This is just one that happens to be one of my favorites. I keep this. I actually just opened my 4th bottle this morning in like less than a year. I use this every single day, the Platinum Age Delay Serum. I would also say, this is a great time to really step up your skincare routine. So obviously you want to be very consistent, but it's okay to mix and match pending whatever your skin may need. Also a great time for you to start incorporating anti-aging products for your body. So you're talking about your face. You should always be hydrating, right? The entire body, but you've probably really been focusing on your face. Now it's time to focus on face as well as the rest of your body. So we have some really great anti-aging body care products that are really fabulous. This is one that I've been using in particular, the new Platinum Body Sculpting Serum, which is really great. So if you're in and again, it's not about recommending always by age, but just based on the top common questions, cleansing, toning, using these multiple serums, moisturizing your face, your eyes, your lips, your body, and of course your SPF. I would also say that, if you feel like you are at a point where maybe a professional treatment of some sort will help, do it. It's just about what makes you feel good and what makes you feel confident, because it is your skin. So don't let other people tell you what you should and shouldn't do, including me, right? Okay, let me pause and just take a couple of questions. I saw a question about, do we still have a new products? Absolutely, Celine. The products that I was just showing are platinum. We have some of our vitamin C products. Yes, we have our clinical collagen that I'm going to talk about. We have a ton of new products. I'm just shortening some of the names today, but absolutely, they are here to stay. Okay, Teresa, I have a question about Avon's Solution Vanishing Serum. Will that help me with my acne scars? Okay, so I know you are really in tune and you really want something to really help with some of the scarring. So the Vanishing Solutions, it will help with some dark spots, pigmentation, you really want to be consistent with using that product. So yes, absolutely. It can help, again, until I know if I don't know what the scarring looks like. If it's down into the skin, that may be something a little bit different. But definitely it cannot hurt to try our Avon solutions, the Banishing Serum, vitamin C products, the retinols, like I recommend. Those are really great suggestions. Okay. And now is a great time if you don't have some of these products to, give it a whirl, especially solutions. Actually, I think all of our products are great prices, especially when you look at what's competitively out on the market. But solutions is a really great product, Teresa, for you to try. All right, let's keep going and let's talk about the 50s. All right. I mean, this is like on the door, right? For most women, hello menopause. Your skin situation, it can change daily. One day your skin may feel super dry. The next day you feel like you're super oily. Regardless of all of that, you feel it, you see it. You're just wondering, like, what is happening to my body? Will I ever be the same again? It's also an age, and I saw some of these comments earlier. It's also an age where hormonal shifts, they obviously start to happen again with going through menopause. So you also may have kind of that double whammy of maturing skin with those breakouts. I've been there. I absolutely understand. And with that, the number one question that I receive is, what can I do to manage all of the aging and the challenges that my skin is experiencing? And with this one, again, I would say it's absolutely that multi-prong approach again. There isn't one product that is going to solve everything. Also, just a little bit of patience and give yourself some grace, right? Product-wise, let's stick to that. So if you are dealing with hot flashes, and I have been there, oh my goodness, regardless if it's in the evening, if it's during the day, if it's like all of the time, what I would say is chill your skin for a second. Like, give your skin just a moment to feel good, right? One of the brands that I love for feeling good is PharmRx. So PharmRx specifically, we have a Super Greens collection, and it's less focused. It's not about anti-aging. It's about making your skin feel healthy, hydrated, cooling. We actually have a product, a cooling gel. We actually have, and I've got it here today, a cooling eye cream. And listen, right now, I mean, like, I could just open this product and the product feels cooling anyway, but it can also be really, really great if you take these products and you put them in a skin fridge. You can see my skin fridge right over my shoulder. I keep the majority of all of my skincare in there because it just feels good. But especially if you're going through a period where you're like, I need to cool down, and fanning isn't really doing it, kind of give that multi-prong approach and start with kind of giving yourself some gentle skincare that'll kind of cool things down. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. Here's the other thing. It can also feel really good when the hot flash passes, right? It can feel really good to kind of exfoliate, kind of feel like you're getting some of that dead skin, right? Off of your body. So a couple of products that I really love. One here is at the new clinical, the micro needling polisher. This is an exfoliator for your face. Of course, you can use this on your entire body if you prefer, but I would say use this, 2 to 3 times a week. This just changes the way that your skin feels. I mean, after one use, your skin just feels so smooth. So if you've ever tried this product, drop a little bit about what you thought about the product in the chat. And then for your body, I would say I pulled this one out, the new vitamin C. This is an exfoliating kind of scrub. It smells delicious. It feels delicious. I always feel like I've had like a little spa moment. I keep one right in my shower. So when I'm exfoliating my face, I immediately reach and just finish exfoliating my body, which is really great. Okay, the other thing, obviously, for dealing with all of these signs of aging that can be, kind of challenging, is definitely continue. Again, this is kind of a common theme. continue with those targeted treatments, but make sure that you have a high quality moisturizer. We want this high quality moisturizer to have really potent kind of anti-aging ingredients, things like peptides, which are really great to kind of attack all of the signs of aging. And again, you can use individual little products, and that's great. That's okay to use all of those. But if you're really like, I am in a place where my patience is very thin, right? So I'm doing my stuff when I'm having my hot flash, but just give me a product to use. And without doubt, this is one of the top products. I find myself recommending this product more often than not. This is a new clinical collagen boosting firming cream. This cream does it all. High quality, I do want to kind of clarify. High quality is not about price, it's about ingredients. And you can feel so good knowing that the products that we're producing at Avon have very high quality ingredients. They're going to give you those results. So it's great for your skin, it's great for your pocketbook. So feel good about that. All right, it looks like nobody has any questions, which is great. So again, if you have some questions, by the way, if I've missed a question, please feel free to drop that in the chat, and I definitely will wrap back around. Okay, so let's move to our 60s and 70s. I am going to basically kind of group our 60s and 70s together a little bit, but I just love this age range. I feel like the confidence is there. So many people, they just own who they are. I really look up to that. Some people are okay to age gracefully. Everybody, I don't know anyone who doesn't want to look as good and feel as good as possible, which by the way means different things to different people. But most people I know in this age range, I was just having this conversation with one of my best friends who's in her 60s the other day, and she was like, I would not go back to my 20s and 30s for anything in the world. And you know what? I think she's right. I wouldn't either. I feel like I'm getting better, right? With age. So the number one question for this particular age group is, it starts typically with a statement of, listen, my skin is mature, it's maturing. I'm maybe accepting this, maybe not, maybe I'm fighting it tooth and nail, right? But it's really, as I'm watching those signs of aging, happen, how can I actually address and reduce, slow anything down? Very often it's all the signs of aging, but what I find is that in the 60s and 70s, the real concerns start to laser focus on the jawline, on the jowl area, the neck, sometimes like right under your eyes, which is a very real concern. And it's another thing, I was telling you about talking with one of my friends recently, and she actually did say this, so I have to share. She called me a couple of weeks ago and she was just like, JJ, I woke up and I have a line on my face and it took hours to actually disappear. And I mean, like, I get it, right? Like we've all had that, but that's kind of the lack of elasticity. That's kind of the bounce back that really happens. By the way, there is this little very unscientific test that you can do with your hand. Have you ever heard about this? To see how elastic your skin is. And that is, you can take your hand. I wonder if we're all going to do this together now. Take your hand and grab some skin. This might be a little depressing, all right? It depresses me. But grab a little skin and pull it up and then let it go. And how quickly your skin snaps back, that's a great indicator of the elasticity in your skin. So we saw that mine, she snapped, but like on a slow rate. So I'm like, I'm a little dehydrated. Oh, Carol snaps. Carol, that is amazing. I'm loving hearing this. Oh, you're so lucky, Carol. Love that. Okay. So the answer, and then I'm going to take some of these questions, but, if you're really looking at, just slowing things down a little bit, helping with kind of, the sagging that may be starting to happen, that jowl line, again, that lack of elasticity. I would say, put a full, if you can, we have great collections that help you defy gravity. And one of those is Platinum. Platinum has an amazing array of products, whether it's the original Anew Platinum, whether it's the Equinox Platinum, both collections are really great. And they're they're all designed to really help, really laser focus and target that lifting and that firming. They smell great. They feel great. Another one, and Teresa, I know you were asking about this one, but I think Solutions is another really great option. I feel like these are great prices. There's great opportunity. There's great, options, whether that's dramatic firming. We have the banishing. We have, one Natura, which is all about, kind of giving your skin that hydration. And speaking of hydration, again, we cannot say this enough, that hydration is very important. So continue, drinking the water, using your great moisturizers. If you're using a bunch of serums and you're like, hey, I just need some moisturizers, we have some hyaluronic acid products. We have that with we have a hyaluronic acid Beyond Glow. We just launched a hyaluronic acid that also has the addition of ferulic, which is a really, really great product. So I know it's kind of like all of the things, but I hope this is helping. Can you tell me in the chat, is all of this helping you? Let's see some of the questions. All right. Oh, that's awesome, Carla. I'm in my mid-50s. I've been using Avon skincare for 2.5 years. Oh, Carla, I have to know, Carla, when you started using the skincare, how long did it take you before you started seeing results? I'm sure that you are getting great compliments. So congratulations on that. Absolutely keeping your fine lines and wrinkles at bay. Lines around the mouth. Hi, Stephanie. It's so good to see you. There's a lot of things you can do to help with the lines around the mouth. I have that as well. Vitamin C products, I think, are absolutely amazing. Stephanie, you can also, I would reach for the PharmRx Bakuchiol products. Because that will do a little bit of the skin turnover right around your mouth. And those are gentle enough that you can put it right on that lip line. Obviously, you could very likely try a little bit of the 1%, but, go slow and low with that because it could cause, a little bit of the flaking, but we've talked about that before, right? And by the way, one of the lip products that I love for helping with fine lines and wrinkles around the perimeter of the lip is the Anew Vitamin C. It's an antioxidant lip treatment. Mine's currently in my skin fridge right now, but I love that product. I use that product every single day, twice a day, because I will say that as I have been maturing and having gone through menopause, like I understand, my skin started to lose all of that, hydration. And it was really shocking. I was like, where did it go? So I feel like just replenishing. And, one of the signs was really starting to see some of those, wrinkles around the mouth a little bit. Okay. Loving your mini fridge for products. Yes, absolutely. Ooh, you send those as gifts, Carol. We need to be friends. The cooling spray, and we are friends, but the cooling spray is great in there. Absolutely. I'm loving seeing some of these tips. Let's see, any other questions? I'm seeing questions. What is the difference between Anew and Equinox? It's just two different collections. One of them, so our original Anew has been with Avon for a very long time. Tried, true, tested ingredients. I mean, people know if they love it, if they know, and they love it. We are continuously adding products into the Anew collection. So I want to make that very clear. The Equinox Anew is a little bit of a different line in terms of we use a little bit of different formulated ingredients. It's more, I don't want to say it's natural because that would be misleading, but it definitely is, naturally inspired ingredients. So for instance, you may find peonies, orchids, and they have really great results. Some of them have a little bit of lighter textures, different scents, so it's really a personal preference. I actually mix and match and use all of them. Okay, and Carol, you're saying that the results took a few weeks. Wow, that's amazing. You did not use any skincare before starting Avon Skincare. Oh, I would love to have a conversation with you and hear what made you start. And now here you are, an absolute skincare enthusiast, and I'm so excited that you are here. And I'm glad that you have started using SPF as well. Okay. And no, Teresa, we do not currently sell any skincare fridges. But but you never know. All right, let's talk about our last age group. And then again, if you have any questions that I have not answered, please continue to drop those in the chat so that I can see and help you address those. But, you know, the last one is when you're looking at your kind of 80s and above, right? And I would say that the number one question that I get from this age group, my grandmother is in this great age group. I have some friends in this age group, and it's really about how can I keep my skin healthy and hydrated? You know, listen, some people are still very engaged with anti-aging regimens. I mean, they are fighting, you know, they're going to fight going all the way down, you know, which is great, right? But most people, I find they're most interested in keeping their skin comfortable. Your skin can really start to thin with age. That's just a scientific fact. And, you know, hydrating is really important and key. So my answer is if you just want a straightforward moisturizer, and we talked about this just a few minutes ago when we were talking about, you know, any of the, you know, hot flashes or any of those symptoms. Listen, maybe it's just been a really, you know, hot day and you've been outside and you're like, I need something to cool my body down. I really am a big fan of the PharmRx collection. Specifically, if someone's looking just for that moisturizer, the Super Greens multivitamin moisturizer, it's great. There's nothing anti-aging about it. It's all really designed to give your skin that, you know, that nourishment and that goodness through those naturally inspired ingredients. I would say if you want moisture, but you're on the other side of the fence and you're like, oh yeah, like we're going to keep this going, and you really want to keep those anti-aging benefits going, then no surprise, I'm going to tell you to reach for the Clinical Collagen Booster Cream. This is a fabulous, fabulous product. It's going to give you that beautiful, beautiful hydration. It's going to, you know, deeply moisturize your skin without weighing it down. You're getting all, remember, it's a do-it-all. It's going to really give you the benefits of all of those anti-aging challenges. It's going to really help that. But I also really love this because sometimes as we mature, it can become, you know, some people experience mobility issues, maybe with their hands, their joints. And so I love the fact that all you can do is just pull the top off. And then this is right from my skin fridge. And you can see, I think we can catch that on the light. Do you see there's a little, I'm not going to touch it, but there's where you dispense. And all you have to do is just pump and the perfect amount is dispensed. Can you see that? Really, really great. So I love that in particular for that. All right, let me pause. We've got a few minutes before the class ends. All right, hi, Jennifer, nice to see you. Okay, Jennifer, I have a customer who just started the new Beyond Glow. Awesome. Vitamin C, snail mucin, and snail mucin cream. Wow, that's awesome. She went for all three and is having a major breakout. She is in her 40s. Is there one product you think could be causing it? So I bet you know what I'm going to say, Jennifer. It's really hard to know without knowing the situation kind of personally. I would say a couple of things, and if you can answer here, that's great. Number one, does she have sensitive skin? Number two, does she have skin that is prone to breakouts? I'm seeing a lot of questions about the mini fridge. They're available in many other places. All you have to do is Google and you can see them. But I would say sometimes sensitive, not really breakouts, normal. Okay. It could be the vitamin C. Has she ever used a vitamin C product, Jennifer? I'm just curious if she's ever used one. If she hasn't, that can, you know, that could be. And here's the thing, even the vitamin C is not a photosensitive product. And I'm not going to make an assumption about your customer, but if you are applying, if you kind of go hardcore with your vitamin C in the daytime and you do not apply SPF, I mean, it could cause a little bit of something, you know, to happen. So that's why, again, that SPF is so important. But yeah, you know, listen, what I would say, Jennifer, again, without knowing the full story behind what's happening with her skin is less is more. So if she is experiencing any kind of a reaction or a breakout, stop using everything immediately. I'm sure, because I know you, I'm sure you've already told her to do that, but stop using all of the products, get her skin back in shape, right? Get her skin back and healthy, and then once it's healthy again, start with one product. If all of her other products are good, then that's great. And that's another thing, Jen. It could be that what she's already using, and then it could be mixing with some of the new products. But again, get her skin healthy and then have her start with one product. Give it a few days. Don't give it 1 day or 2 days. She's got to give it some solid days to see if it does anything. And then if it's fine, then add the second product. So that's kind of my recommendation. Okay, good. She jumped in. Yeah, I mean, back off one product at a time. Absolutely. Okay, so let's see. Any other questions about skincare? Let me just pop up. Obviously, we love our skin fridges. Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty impressed that we didn't have more questions today. I thought for sure you would have a lot of questions. Again, as always, if you are watching this on replay, I know so many of you do, which is great. Please, if you have questions, drop those in the chat. This will be on YouTube probably by Monday. So drop those in the chat, and I'll be sure to go back and to answer as many of those as I possibly can. Again, I just really want to thank you all for your time. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me again, whether live, whether replay. I hope you got some of your questions answered. I hope maybe you learned a few new tips and are leaving knowing that the products you're using, they're either on point, or maybe you're going to try a little something different. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all very soon. Have a great day.